Hi everyone and welcome to Stamp with Angela. This is Angela Palmer and I'm excited to be here with you today for today's Facebook Live. Now I have been having some technical issues and was meant to start quite a while ago, but I had no sound and then it wasn't logging on, so I'm not quite sure what the issues are. Hopefully I have sound now, so if you've been patient enough to be watching, maybe you're joining me. So can you let me know, do we have sound now? I'd really like to know if it's working this time. Hopefully it is good. So waiting for some comments. Do we have sound? Please let me know. So thank you for joining me today for this Facebook and YouTube Live and hoping that you can hear me okay. Yay, we have sound. Excellent. So I'm not really quite sure what's different, but anyway, we've got sound now so we can get started. All right, thank you for your patience. Yay, yes, great. All right, so hi everyone. This is Angela Palmer from Stamp with Angela. And I'm excited to be here with you today to share some ideas to inspire you, to encourage you with your stamping, card making, paper crafting. So I hope you enjoy what I've got to share with you today. So I do this live each week on a Thursday at 1:30 p.m. all going well, no technical issues. And yeah, I want to share some ideas with you. So this morning, it was a busy morning. I had my regular monthly Thursday class. So for that class, I teach it several times, Thursday morning, Friday evening, Sunday. During the month, we do the same things for each one, so you can come at a time that suits. We do a fun fold and we do a technique. So today's technique that I'm going to share is something similar to what I did several months back for one of my classes. So I'd love you to come to a class if you're local, but I know not everyone can be. So this is a chance to share the technique with some of you who are a little bit further afield. So if you are local and you'd like to come to one of my classes, Friday evening, Sunday afternoon, and I'm doing a repeat of today next Thursday morning as well. So let me know. But if you can't, that's cool. We can connect through Facebook and YouTube, and you can watch this way and then give it a try. So, yeah, use the supplies that you've got. Now, maybe you've tried this before. Who knows? Today, we're going to look at a technique called the ink smooshing technique. So you might get a little bit messy with your hands, have fun with some inks, create a cool background, and I'm using embossing folders as well. So I love embossing folders. I love the way the texture that it creates on cards and things. So let's check out and have a look and see what we are going to do. All right, so we've got my glass mat here. Now I just, whoops, can you still hear me? Definitely need something like a glass mat for today's technique. Now I'm trying to find my actual samples. Here we go. And this is what I have created. So we do have a little bit of reflection with the lights, unfortunately, but I need the lights so you can see what I'm doing. All right, I'm assuming we still got sound. Is it all good with sound? I'm just going to adjust my camera so we're a little bit more square on, maybe. Is that better? Okay. All right, so I'll put that there too. So this is the card. So you'll see a nice colourful background, and then I've used an embossing folder. This one is the sunflower one, but I've used other embossing folders as well, like this joined together one. If you can kind of see the pattern, and I even tried it with the plaid as well. Now you see I got a bit of ink there when I didn't want it, but that's okay. We'll hide it with our sentiment. All right, so let's get started and have a go at this technique. So the colours that I'm going to use are Daffodil Delight. I'm going to use Azure Afternoon because it's a nice bright blue. Petunia Pop and Berry Best. I was a little bit worried that the pink might be a bit too bright, but it kind of gets toned down anyway. So I think we'll be okay. And then we do also need the craft white ink because that helps, yeah, show the effect and things as well. All right. So welcome to those that are joining me today, Linda, Sheila, and others. Thank you for being here. Let me know you're here, where you're from. It's wonderful to have you live. I know some people can't be here live because, you know, Thursday afternoon doesn't work, but you can watch the recording, which I appreciate as well. Okay, so we're going to start with a piece of, I'm actually just going to use normal white cardstock. Often when water's involved, you use watercolor paper, but as long as you dry it and things, we can use it for this. Now the sunflower and the plaid embossing folder are quite big. So I'm actually going to start with one big piece and then we'll trim it later. If you have a smaller embossing folder, then you might want to start off with a smaller piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you need a surface kind of like this glass mat, and I'm going to put some ink down using my ink pad. So I'm going to do yellow first because that's, and I'm going to just, it's Azure Afternoon, Petunia Pop. Now every card is going to be different, so I'll never get them looking exactly the same. And then we've got some Berry Burst. I might just need to move my camera down a little bit so you can see all the colors I've got. All right, so what I'm then going to do, see how bright that is I'm going to spritz. So I've got my spritzer here, and I'm going to put on quite a bit of water. If you push with your thumb, it's got a bit more force than doing your fingers. All right, so quite a bit of water. I'm going to do the yellow first because that's going to be probably less noticeable. And I'm going to smoosh my paper into it, see, like that. I might do another little bit here. Actually, I might just do this since we're all here. Isn't that cool? We need a bit more blue. I just want to be careful that I don't mix the colors too much and then it becomes all muddy. So I'm sort of going to take a look and see what I've got. Obviously the blue and yellow get a bit of green in there as well. I might put a little bit of the pink, but I don't want too much, so down the bottom. So I'm just pressing the paper in, and then I want to fill up my spaces. So my yellow's all gone, so I'm going to get a bit more yellow. And maybe a bit more. Actually, I haven't got much of the Petunia Pop. Oh, we've got some there, so we'll leave that. So we'll spritz the yellow again. And then we'll go with a bit of Petunia Pop in this corner. So I'm going to smush that down there. And then maybe we'll try and fill in this space here with a bit more yellow. So there's a couple of white spaces. So I want to maybe get a bit more blue there. I don't know if there's much blue left. We might just get a bit more blue. So you can just sort of play it by ear. Whoops, squeak, squeak. Add colours. Like I say, it is a bit messy. You could use like a big block or something if you didn't have a glass mat. But let's put a bit of blue in there. That's looking quite good. Now there's quite a bit there. A bit of white. So we're just going to sort of pick up. Maybe we'll go a bit of Petunia Pop. So I'm actually not using too much of, I've got quite a bit of the Berry Burst. There we go. I still want to fill in this edge. I might end up cutting it off, but I might not. So I'm going to go for this. Now you do need to dry it. So I will need to use my heat tool. So I'm just going for the yellow, and I'm just going to try and just do this edge bit so there's no white. It might be cut off, but just to be sure. All right, there we go. And that corner, let's go for that. All right, so what I might, there we go. How's that? Looks quite bright, doesn't it? Quite busy, but that's cool. Gonna grab my chamois cloth and just wipe it off. So that we don't get ink, whoops, where we don't want it. So the glass mat comes with the chamois as well. Okay, cool. So now, so if you look at this, I don't know if you can tell, it's quite sort of floppy, particularly in the corners because it's wet. So I am going to dry it. And I'm hoping my heat tool will reach. And not too noisy. All right, whoops, it's not turned on at the wall. That's not going to work if it's not turned on at the wall. Let me just turn it on. Aha, there we go. Now my glass mat is heat resistant too, so that's great. I don't know if you can see it, but it is here. You can probably hear it. So I'm using basic white cardstock, okay? So that's why it is quite sort of floppy and things. The watercolor paper I do use often when using water, but that's quite thick and it's not as big as this either. All right, so I'm just drying this so that it's not floppy or wet. Otherwise, when we go to emboss it, it's not gonna, it might rip or just, you know, fall apart, that kind of thing. All right, so let's see if there's any other questions as I'm drying this. It's wonderful to see a few of you joining us. Helen, Joanne, thank you for joining us. We started a bit late due to technical issues, so we've only been going 10 minutes. All right, so I'm coloring this, or not coloring, sorry, I'm drying this with my heat tool, and then we'll be able to do the next step. Now, I must say, Jo, who's on the on today's live with us, she made some cards using this ink smooshing technique. So she got me into it. So often we learn from others. So I've got some of you here on the live that are team members, and it's wonderful to have team members. We can share ideas and cards with each other, which is great. So thank you, Jo, for your inspiration. This was a while ago, and I thought, oh, I'll share it on a live. Right, you can probably see it's a little bit stiffer now. It's not flat, but that's okay. But the important thing is to make it dry. Oh, Elizabeth's here too. Yay. Appreciate you faithful, regular ones that watch it. And I know, yeah, there's many of you that will watch the recording later. So welcome, and thank you to you too. And Elizabeth, I know there's a message from you, but like I said, I had my class this morning, so I haven't looked at it yet, and then my live, so I will get back to you later. Oh, Joanne says it's so much fun. And exactly, no two come out the same. They're all different. So, yeah, every card is different. Right, it feels more crunchy now and dry. Turn this off. All right, there we go. So, oh, it's a little bit wet in the corner, actually. So I will just dry the corner. All right, nearly there. So you can definitely see that that berry burst is quite, what's the word? Quite bright. And the other colours are a bit more subtle. We've got a bit of green in there with the blue and yellow. So that's cool. All right, so then what I'm going to do is bring up my embossing machine. And I was going to do one of the joined together ones, but I think I've left the folder in the other room, so we can't. So we'll go ahead with our sunflower one. So remember that the top of your folder is where the Stampin' Up is. So make sure the ink side is up, and that literally is the whole folder. I'm going to trim it down, so if we don't quite get some edges, that's okay. And I'm going to use my grey specialty plate because it's a 3D embossing folder. And just check. It is struggling to go through, but I think that's probably because it's... So I'm just checking my plates are right because I don't want to break my machine. But I think it's just because it's sticking it. No, we're good now. It's coming. Here we go. Wait for the ka-ching. Yep, there we go. All right. And I will need my trimmer as well. Let's put that there. All right, so there you go. Now there are a couple of white patches. If you had a water painter or something, you could get a tiny bit of ink and just sort of colour them in slightly if you felt you need to, but we'll probably sort of cut around that. So I'm going to make this into 2 cards. So using my trimmer, which is my must-have tool, what I might actually do is just trim a little bit off the edge. All right, and I'm going to cut it at 9.7 in centimeters. The same with this one because I want a slight border. There we go. And then have a look and see, you know, do I want the top or the bottom? I quite like that yellow coming through, but there's that there. I might just touch that up afterwards. I quite like that. And then I'm making it 14. There we go. It's got a bit of blue coming through. This one here you can see hasn't embossed right at the top, so I will cut that end off. And I'll make that 14 as well. Okay, now I want to show you something. These bits, by the way, keep these because we can use them on the inside. So this is what you can see with the pattern. What I'm going to get next is some white craft ink. Now this comes uninked and you ink it up yourself. And what I'm going to do is gently swipe over the top so the embossed layers get some white ink on it, and then it helps the pattern of the embossing folder stand out more. So you want to lightly do it. You can always add more, you can't take it away. All right, so let's compare the two. So this one here has got the white, so you can see that definition slightly more with the flower. This one hasn't yet. So can you see that difference between the two colours and things? Yes, Sheila said it's like tie-dyeing on paper. It kind of is really, playing with our colours and things, which is cool. So then what I'm going to do is adhere that like this, so it's got a white border. The other advantage of adhering after you have embossed is if you cut it to the right size, you emboss it sometimes with the pressing of the embossing, it might make it slightly longer or wider or something, and then it doesn't fit. So by cutting it afterwards, we can get the exact size we want. So I just like to have a white border that makes it stand out. Then I have got a piece of Secret C for my card base. I might need to score this in half at 10.5. And we're going to adhere this to the front. Now, which way does it go is the big question. I actually think it goes that way. So doesn't that really stand out against the dark background? It's not a black, because black can be quite harsh sometimes, but it's sort of a bluey colour. Oh, look, you can see some of the white that's still coming out. So you do have to be aware that, yeah, craft ink does take a while to dry, so I probably should ideally put it aside and then come back to it. It's not as quick as other inks. All right, so there we go. So then what we want to do is we want to add our sentiment. So I don't know if I showed you earlier. Oh, here's my other card bases that were hiding up here. More messages. So more messages, I've used it before, is one big stamp. Okay, this is one whole stamp. I take it out. You need a big block. Whoops, you need a big block for this one, and it's got all these sentiments on it. And then once you've stamped it, you put this over, run it through your machine, and you get lots of sentiments all at once. So let me show you. So this is a bag of ones that I have all done before. So I've done some on the same colour and I've white embossed it and then cut them out. Some of them I've stamped in Secret C onto white. So you could have, you could have a white like that, but I think it looks quite stunning when you've got that colour against it. All right, so we've got thanks a lot. Now I've got this gold striped ribbon. And if I was to put a big piece behind, let's cut it, particularly with that sentiment being quite narrow, sorry, just trimming the end, you could do it. Let me just fold it and show you. It doesn't want to hold. You could quite happily stay there. You could have that, right? Can you see that? Let me hold it up. But it's quite thick, right? Can you look at this one? See, that's a bit more dainty. Do you know what I've done? I have just cut it in half down the middle. So using my ribbon scissors, that's why they've got this on here. Doesn't have to be perfect. What I like to do is kind of hold it so it's tight and cut down the middle like so. I think I've shown this for another card before, but if you haven't seen it, cut your ribbon down the middle in half. Now it's nice and dainty. It'll work for some ribbons more than others, so obviously be selective. I see Sheila saying a big difference. Yeah, big difference between when you have the white on and not the white on. You definitely see the pattern. It all helps, and you can obviously add more or less. It's up to you. So I'm going to put some. I'm going to put some tape on the back, and then I'm going to adhere my ribbon. So just bending it back and forth, like so. I think we need to adjust it so it's a little bit shorter. Right, bend up and down, like so. Now it might fray a bit, but that's okay. Then I'm going to put that on with some little mini dimensionals, like so. Now I find if you put them where the ribbon is, it doesn't stay so easily. I'm actually going to take the top layer off first, otherwise it tries to come with the ribbon. Put that there. I might do the same for another one, just half on the ribbon, half off. Is that off? Take off my top layer. Usually I use my Take Your Pick tool because I do not have nails. I think that's off. Is it? No, it isn't off. Here we go. And then sort of put it wherever. Slightly to the side, slightly to the bottom. I wonder if we should go just a tad lower. Oops, that one didn't come off. That's why. We're just going to move you, and we're going to go a little bit lower. That looks better. Okay, add some embellishments, and then we're all done. Actually, we're not quite all done. We're going to do something inside. My embellishments. I'm going to use these ones because they sort of pick up the colour that's around. My Take Your Pick tool. I think I took it in to the other room when I had my class, so I'm just going to use my scissors. We're going to use a big one up here somewhere, a little one, don't stab myself, and a medium one down the bottom. Sort of give that triangular sort of effect. All right, how's that? So I'd say there's a bit more white on that one, or maybe it's just dried a bit more. So you can sort of see what you like, and then add as much as you like if you want to. So with this here, I'm going to add a bit more white to this piece so the pattern shows out a bit more. We'll just do it up the top because I'll need to wipe my board later. Like so. And then what we can do is we can adhere it into our card so it ties it all together. So I need a white piece. No, that's an envelope. Trying to find a white piece. Is that the right size? Yes. And then put that like so, except I think it probably would go that way. And then that way you kind of open it and it ties it all together. Isn't that cool? Because I usually like to stamp something inside my card, but I don't have a sunflower stamp that works. So tie it together by having something matching like so. It's not quite the full length, but that's okay. Width, but that's okay. All right. There we are. Are they the holistic gems? Let me tell you, they are. I think they are. The holographic gems, they are. So they're quite, yeah. So they're very cool. I did try colouring one, as you can see, and I didn't think it worked, but the colour has stayed on, but it loses that shininess, I guess. So I just wanted to experiment. All right, there we go. So there is our ink smooshing technique and some cards. So why don't you have a play with different embossing folders? So like here was one I did with the join together, which is part of the Kintsugi suite and things. Here it is with the plaid one. Now for this one, I would need to find a sentiment and sort of put it about here. And then that hides my dropping the ink pad on it. It's a little bit low down, but you know, you can make it work. So if you make a mistake, we just try and fix it. All right, so how's that? Has anyone tried the ink smooshing technique before? So make sure you've got a good surface to work on, something like a glass mat or maybe your big F block, and you do a couple of colors at a time. And you'll need a spritzer and spray it with lots of water, and then you'll push it into the ink with different colors moving around. Try not to kind of go into the same color, otherwise it'll look all muddy and messy. But it's lots of fun to try. And then you can see what embossing folders you've got and which ones you would like to have a go with. So there you go, that's lots of fun. And then for my sentiments, to make it nice and easy, I did the more messages, and I've just embossed white onto Secret C in advance. Then I've got a whole lot ready to go that I can pick and choose as I need them. So put them in a bag or a container. Whoops, they've all come out the bag. Ready to go. And remember, cut your ribbon down the middle, and it's more dainty. Works well for this gold striped ribbon. Any questions? All right, so hopefully you like that. We're a bit later because of our technical issues earlier. So I'm going to look back here, see if there's other questions and things. Today at 12 o'clock, my third tutorial went out for the 12 weeks of Christmas. So if you're on my mailing list, you would have received that. If not, sign up, and then you'll get all the Christmas 12 weeks of Christmas going forward. So different tutorials to inspire and help you. So one last thing, one really cool thing that is happening this month is an amazing join offer. So if you've ever considered or wondered about joining Stampin' Up, anytime is a good time to join because there's lots of great benefits, the community, the friendships, obviously getting things at a discount, getting to see things early, demonstrator events, so many cool things. But you can join for, usually it's $189. You could join and just pay $67. That is an amazing deal, and get $285 worth of products. Or if you are wanting a bit more, you can pay the usual starter kit fee of $189 and get $407 worth of products. So if you're after something like the Stampin' Cat and Embossing Machine, which is more than $285, just over, but you know, then you could get this one, and then you would get that and some other things at a great deal, and you get to be a demonstrator in my team. And for my team members, we have a monthly Zoom, newsletter goes out, team swaps, team challenges. Yeah, I'm here to help you, that kind of thing as well. So I appreciate it. And some of my team members are on the lives as well. And yeah, it's wonderful to have other people enjoy the Stampin' Up journey and be a part of it as well. So it's great, you know, a great time to join because it is a really good deal. You get value for money, and then you get the ongoing benefits of getting things at a discount. And whether you're buying for yourself or might introduce it to others, then you know, you might get some sales and things too, which is really cool. All right, so if you've got any questions about that, let me know. Going to come back to me now if I can find it. Here we go. All right, wonderful. So thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions about joining up, then feel free to ask me. No obligation. You might decide that you don't want to, that's fine, but you might as well look at it and just see if it's worth it. And there is an opportunity session next week. So this time, well, not this time, but on this day next week, Thursday at 12 o'clock, there's an opportunity session for an hour, and that's run by the Stampin' Up kind of managers that oversee it in New Zealand and Australia, and they'll tell you a little bit about Stampin' Up and show you a card and different things. It's lots of fun. Or it's in the evening at 8:30 p.m. New Zealand time. So if you'd like to join, or if you'd like to take in that so you can see what it's about, then let me know and I'll send you a Zoom link and I will join with you as well. Doesn't matter if we are sitting in the same room or different parts of the country, we can both take part. So that is cool. And then you can, you know, decide if you want to join up, or if you're ready to join up, just sign up today. That would be awesome. I'd love to have you join my team. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. I know we were late starting, all those technical issues with no sound, but we got there in the end. Yay! So appreciate your patience. I look forward to sharing with you again next week. Hopefully it will go more smoothly. Until then, we will see you again soon. So if you're not on my mailing list, subscribe. Remember to consider the join offer. And yeah, if I can help in any way, then please let me know. I look forward to seeing you again soon. So thanks so much. Take care, and until next time. Bye.